to Tassie, Teague. We sort of spoke to you on the radio about this, mate, but give us a bit of a rundown of how you've landed here at the Tigers.
Yeah, it's been a long, interesting process. I just want to start by thanking WA Cricket for everything they've done for me over the years, and I'm very grateful, and the memories and friendships I've made are something that will stick with me forever, so thank you to WA Cricket. But this process started around Christmas time. I was offered a multi-year deal from WA, which I elected not to sign. I was very honest and transparent. I said, look, I really appreciate the offer and showing the faith in offering a multi-year deal, but I played 4 games of cricket in the last 2 years and I don't know who the coach is next year, so I just want to keep my options open. So as time went on, they ended up pulling the deal, but was still very adamant in wanting me to stay at WA and commit. And then not long after Cass was announced as coach, I had a meeting and met up with the necessary people and basically committed to WA and said I'm going to stay. And I think with Cricket Australia contracts pushing a few people down, it just squeezed me out. So as soon as I found out about that, I was straight away. Cricket Tasmania is an organisation I've always admired and thought really highly of, so it was a very easy decision to put my eyes towards coming towards Tasmania.
You mentioned only playing the 4 games there. What stopped you playing more cricket over the last few years?
Oh, I'm not going to beat around the bush. My performances in Shield cricket probably didn't warrant me getting many more games. I know that I played 22 Shield games. The 18 of those were as a teenager between 17 and 19, and I was probably picked for longer than I should have been at that age. And I wish the opportunities could be flipped around, and I had those 4 games between 17 and 19, and then the opportunity came when I was a better player as I've gotten older. So it's been tough sitting on the sidelines a little bit the last couple of years, but I feel like coming to Tasmania, it's a place where I'll be able to grow as a person, grow as a player, and hopefully flourish.
Yeah, how much more of a level can you go to, do you think?
Oh, I've got no doubt that at my best I can compete against anyone in the world. For me, the challenge has been consistently getting to that point, which I haven't quite got to over the last little period at WA. I know, looking at my record in grade cricket, my record in second 11, even in one-day cricket last year, that I've made runs consistently at every level except Shield. So it's just a way of trying to crack that, and speaking to the right people and having a good friend, a good group around me. I've got no doubt that I'll be able to crack that and do it consistently for a long period.
You got a relationship with any of the Tassie boys, mate?
Yeah, I know a few of the guys quite well. I've been fortunate enough to play with guys like Jake Doran, Tim Ward, Caleb Jewell, Matt Kuhneman, Mitch Owen, Ian Carlisle, just to name a few. So I've got a really good relationship with a few members of the playing group down here, which also made it a very easy decision. As soon as I found out that I was being let go by WA, I messaged Jake Doran, which helped me put myself in contact with the right people to get the ball rolling, and from there on it was a pretty smooth process to be able to join the Tigers.
And you're here nice and early, mate. When does pre-season officially start?
We got testing on Thursday and Friday, and then the first official day is on Monday the 25th.
And you're just here for that time, mate? You got nothing else planned over the winter, playing anywhere or doing anything?
No, I've been to the UK the last 2 years, having a couple seasons over there, which has been some great times, but with moving states and getting in a new environment, I think the best thing for me will be to put the work in here and get to meet everyone here and spend some time in the new atmosphere.
Awesome, mate. I'll throw to someone else. Thanks for your time.
No problem, thank you.
I can jump in if you like. Teague, I guess talk us through, you sort of feel that your game is, in a better place than it was when you first sort of came on as a teenager, but you just haven't had that sort of consistent opportunity to be able to have a crack at showing. Is that sort of how you feel you've sort of progressed over the last 4 or 5 years?
Yeah, I got a lot of opportunity between the ages of 17 to 19 and I've played 4 games of Shield cricket in the last 2 years and batted in a different position in 3 of those. So probably haven't had the continuity I would have liked. For me, the challenge is how can I make sure that when I get that opportunity that I make it impossible to not be selected the next game. And I've showed that my career average in second 11 is 78. I've got an average of 52 in first grade cricket, and I got an opportunity in one-day cricket last year for WA and did pretty well. So even in a CA 11 game managed to get runs. So I don't think it's a case of being out of form. I just feel like I haven't quite nailed the chances that I've got in the last little period, but that doesn't mean that I'm a better player 3 or 4 years ago when I was playing. I feel like my game's trended in the right direction and I've worked on the right things. I just haven't quite nailed it in the last little period when I've had the opportunities at Shield level.
And I listened to your radio interview with the WA guys the other day, but you were saying how a lot of states had sort of filled their list by the time you found out that WA didn't have a spot for you. But what was, I guess, the appeal of Tassie, and where do you sort of see that opportunity coming? Obviously, Jake's moved back to South Australia, but there's a few middle order spots there as well. Where's sort of the opportunity you see yourself fitting in if you're able to break into the team?
Yeah, well, like I said, Cricket Tasmania is an organisation I've always admired, and as soon as I found out, I messaged the guys at Tassie, and the opportunities, hopefully, whether it's at the top of the order with Weatherall leaving or in the middle of the order with a few guys being let go, I'm happy to open the batting. I'm happy to bat middle order. I feel like my game's set up where I can do well batting anywhere. But yeah, I'm hoping that those opportunities come and I prove WA wrong.
Do you have to approach your batting differently, playing at home at Bellerive as opposed to at the WACA? Will there be any shifts that you need to make there?
Yeah, well, WA and Bellerive, you'd say the bounce is slightly different. I've played 16 out of my 22 Shield games at the WACA on a pretty fast and bouncy wicket. I know that Bellerive still nips around early like the WACA does, but the bounce probably isn't as prolific. So to be maybe able to, you can play your back foot drives and maybe a cover drive a little bit more, but it's still, the conditions are going to be a challenge wherever you go in Australia. There's always going to be differences, and the challenge for batters is how can you adapt and match your game to those conditions as quickly as possible.
And what last one from me? What were the conversations like with the WA guys who you come through with when you sort of had to tell them that you were moving on to Tassie?
Yeah, well, the day I found out that I was being let go, I was on the phone. I rang all the WA players. I rang a few of the coaches at WA just to let them know before they found out from anyone else. I thought that they had the right to hear it from me, and there was a few surprised people, a few shocked people. There was, a few people were upset, but at the end of the day, that's the industry that we play in. Cricket's a brutal game, and moving is a part of life. And you look at South Australia's team who won the Shield last year, and 9 of those guys have come from interstate. So it's all a part of it, and I've got no doubt that this little speed hump or hurdle, whatever you want to call it, is going to be the making of me in the long run.